Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. I'm going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 10th of December, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. Let's say GFS and ECM ensembles over around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, which gets us into the end of December, or just towards the end of December. I'll get on that for you in a second. Just say that first, the video is our 7 AM upload, and we've also released, of course, the EC per day / 6 weeks. Okay, so have a look at that if you would like to see that. It's covering the weather of next 4 weeks in detail, but also next 6 weeks. The UK and for the rest of Europe as well. Thank you so much, everybody, doing that. Please like, share, subscribe on the videos, and thank you so much. And talking to thank you, so I'm going to say thank you so much to my good friend Neil Smith. Thank you so much to Neil Smith for giving a donation to GavsWeatherVids through GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. Thank you so much, Neil. That's incredibly kind. You've made several donations to GavsWeatherVids over the past few years, so thank you so much, my friend. Neil gave a lovely message as well, saying how much he's been enjoying winter updates. Of course, we're up the end of winter updates now. We release part 2 of 13th and final winter 2021-2022 update last night, and so winter updates are finished. All we've got left to do is to release our winter forecast, so we're going to be doing that on Thursday as a premiere at 7 PM. So get glad rags ready, and we'll be premiering our winter forecast on Thursday at 7 PM. But yeah, thank you so much to Neil for the incredible donation. If you'd like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do, go to GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. You can find the link in the description with all of the videos. So yeah, that's how you give a donation through PayPal. Thank you so much to Neil and to all of our PayPal donators. Of course, there is also channel membership with YouTube, so you can become a channel member. Thank you so much to all of our channel members. Just click the join button that you see here on the GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, or underneath all of videos, and you know, that takes you to the page where you can see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member. And you can sign up on that page as well. There is also the Patreon page as well, GavsWeatherVids Patreon page, so we can check that out. You can have a Patreon for GavsWeatherVids. And let's not forget our merch store as well. So if you'd like to get a little bit of GavsWeatherVids merch, and all you need to do is check out the merch store. And again, the description to all of these, you know, all of these various platforms are in the description. So maybe you want a little bit of GavsWeatherVids merch for Christmas. One or two people have brought some merch for Christmas. Actually, I've been, you know, told privately, but a few people have brought some mugs and whatnot for their Christmas presents. So yeah, if you want a bit of GavsWeatherVids merch for Christmas, then that is out there for you as well. Thank you so much to all of you for all of your support. And especially, yeah, a special thank you to Neil. Thank you so much to Neil Smith for the latest donation. Thank you so much, Neil. Right, okay, so we'll start the video then. Beginning with the century temperature, we've now gone sub 8. So the CET is standing at 7.9. It's come down a lot, hasn't it, over the past few days with the cold weather we had over the weekend. So that's still 1.3 degrees above the 6 night on the average, though. So still milder than normal. That's provisional to the 29th. We'll find out tomorrow where that's coming out. I think we're expecting to lose about half a degree off that. So that gets us down to around 7.4. So we'll find out anyway tomorrow where that is, where that's ending up. But significant drop has taken place in temperature, has taken place over the past few days with the cold weather courtesy of Storm Arwen. Got more cold weather to come later on this week as well. It's quite mild today, but you know, cold weather will return from around middle of the week onwards. These are the GFS upper air temperature and also precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Coventry today, so red line 30-year upper air temperature average for Coventry. We're starting off above average at the moment. The upper air temperatures will be going colder than average, though, by the time we get through to Wednesday and particularly Thursday, with below average, below normal. A little bit of a tick up there, but we're going cold on average again. Beyond that, into the weekend. Heading on into next week, quite close to average really, not particularly deviating either. There might be another little cold interlude showing up there around the 10th to the 12th of December. Certainly no sign of anything excessively mild, no sign of anything really cold either. Just looks quite close to normal. But in the next week, like, it is going to be colder than average. So through this period just here, despite a mild start, this period just here does get us, you know, a little bit colder than normal. Precipitation-wise, gradually becoming more unsettled as well. So it looks quite cool and unsettled, to be honest. Quite a bit of rain, I would have thought, as we go through the first half of December. And with the air not overly warm, there could be some sleet or snow mixed in. It might be particularly so for more northern areas and over high ground, perhaps. Temperature anomalies from the 30th of November to the 8th of December, coming out colder than average, just a little bit below normal for the UK. For much of Europe looks cold, especially Scandinavia, really cold there. Temperatures across some parts of Norway and Sweden going down to around 8 to 10 degrees below normal, which is very cold for this time of the year. The mildest temperature anomalies are likely in this far eastern, southeastern part of Europe. Generally, it is quite a cold scene across much of Europe in the weekend. And precipitation anomalies from the 30th of November to the 8th of December, they're around average to a little bit wetter than average for most southern western areas. Interestingly, a little bit drier than average through central parts of England, though. Scandinavia looking drier than normal. That's because we've got a Scandinavian high setting up over there. Scandinavian high causing all sorts of problems with the model output. More about that in a moment. Here's today's latest weather from that from earthnorthschool.net. So it is milder today. Westerners have returned. So we've got cloud and wet weather across the country today. Cold front is through here. And behind that, the air will start to dig in from the northwest. And eventually we'll go northerly and we will bring in colder weather. This is how the UK Met is looking for Friday, UK Met Euro. So we're bringing a trough in from off the Atlantic on Friday. That's coming into quite cold air. So rain probably in the south. Could be a little sleet and snow up in the north. Then a deeper area of low pressure pushes through Friday into Saturday. That could bring some very wet weather with it. And as that low pressure moves out into southern North Sea by midnight on Sunday, we start to pull in colder air from the northeast once again. High pressure trying to rise over Scandinavia into the early part of next week, but the low pressures keep coming from off the Atlantic. That's how you finish up with the UK Met Euro, excuse me, which gets us to the 7th of December. Very unsettled with low pressure dominating weather. Not overly mild, these areas of low pressure are on a southerly track, and we are actually slightly on the cold side of the jet stream. Remember, the black line on these charts is roughly where the jet stream is going to be, so the jet stream is in that sort of position. So we are on the cold side of the jet, actually. So cool and wet, really, with these areas of low pressure into part of next week. The UK Met has lifted off, for the time being, that Scandinavian high for the early part of next week. It's sort of backed away from strength of that slightly. This is how the GFS midnight run is looking. So again, trough is moving through on Friday. That will bring, well, Thursday night, Friday, that will bring a mix of rain and maybe some snow in the north. That pushes through as we get through into Saturday. Winds go into a colder northwesterly direction. Just to bring that next area of low pressure through, like the UK Met does interest you. So as early as like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there is differences within the model output. So this just looks rather cold and showery, really, with the GFS midnight run for next weekend, with winds in from like a west or northwesterly direction. That's midnight on Sunday, much stronger ridge over Scandinavia, trying to block the progress of these areas of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. We have actually pulled the wind into rather, or very slightly into like an easterly, northeasterly there, midnight on Monday. However, the next low pressure comes sweeping in from off the Atlantic midnight Tuesday. Brings a further bout of wet weather coming up against that area of high pressure, sort of slows down and begins to slip southwards. So that's what I'm talking about, with high pressure causing all sorts of havoc within the model output. This area of high pressure, you know, is blocking the progress of the areas of low pressure in of the Atlantic. So instead of them doing that sort of thing, as they would normally do so, go southwest to northeast, so it's kind of like going northwest to southeast. Which is unusual, and it's a wetter pattern, so it means that it could be some very wet weather through next week, and quite a cold pattern as well, so there could be some wintry weather mixed in, more particularly over high ground and up in the north. Really quite a decent area of high pressure towards Scandinavia there by the second half of next week, 1,035 millibars. Not able to completely block off the Atlantic, though. These areas of low pressure come up against that. Areas of high pressure bring further wet weather up to day 10. In more extreme range, of course, the GFS then completely gets rid of Scandinavian high and pulls in the southwesterly winds, as it always does, defaults back to the classic pattern You know, that is a classic pattern with high pressure gone, Scandinavian, low pressure coming in like that. But then the GFS and most models will always try and default back to the default pattern in the extended range, so I wouldn't take that particularly seriously. By the very end of the GFS midnight run, we're under high pressure. It's built up from the south. That's a mild ridge of high pressure, bringing dry and relatively mild weather. That's 16th of December. GFS 6Z looks like this. So again, trough low pressure coming in off the Atlantic midnight on Friday into cold air will bring mix of rain. So about low pressure moves into southern North Sea midnight on Saturday. Winds go into a northwesterly direction. So wintry showers, particularly in northern areas, probably over the weekend. Early next week, again, the 6Z has that area of high pressure building over Scandinavia, trying to block off the low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. Low pressure does come in from off the Atlantic, brings wet and windy weather through the early part of next week. But again, the progress of that low is being blocked by this area of high pressure over Scandinavia. So the low sort of stalls over top of the country and eventually starts to slip southwards. This is very, very close now. At this point, this is Thursday, 9th of December. This is very, very close now to pulling in an easterly wind. The Scandinavian High probably just needs to strengthen a little bit more than that. It's up to 1,035 millibars. Probably needs to get something like 1,040, 1,045 millibars. But it is very, very close at that point to pulling in like a proper east wind taking over the pattern. You see how this is so finely balanced. Counting is so poised. Why I said, but this is creating all sorts of havoc within the model output. We expect this to go on for a bit longer, I would have thought. That's day 10. The battle's still going on. High pressure is still there. It is actually up to 1,040 millibars now to west of Russia. It's so close, isn't it, to taking over and complete blocking off these areas of low pressure from the Atlantic. You can see how they're stalling as they're coming up against that area of high pressure. Into extended range, so we keep the Atlantic weather coming and gradually lose height over Scandinavia. Again, I would not take that overly seriously. This is how the GEM is looking. Again, that trough coming in on. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for doing that job. Comment, let us know what you think. That all of our video. Thank you so much. We need to put on around 75 subscribers now to get to 12.8k. And when we get to 30k, we're going to give away an Amazon voucher. Nice to do that before Christmas. So please give us a sub. Thank you so much. Right, okay. GM has his trough coming in on Thursday night, Friday morning. That bring rain with some hill snow perhaps in the north. Into the weekend, this low pressure dies through. It's more like the UK Met. This low pressure dies through and pulls the wind into the north and into the northeast temporarily. Another deep low there moving across the north of Scotland middle of next week. That brings gale force winds and another push of quite cold air from the northwest as well. And further low pressure digging in up towards day 10. It looks like that low probably going to do something very similar and go in that direction. This is not a typical unsettled, mild, wet and windy pattern. This is how the ECM is looking. So once more, we've got this trough coming in off the Atlantic on Friday, bringing rain. So another area of low pressure there, midnight on Saturday, bringing further really wet weather. That clears out of the way and pulls the wind into a colder north or northeasterly by midnight on Sunday. Heights are rising over Scandinavia. Early next week, you'll notice low pressure beginning to slow down as it comes up against that blocking area of high pressure. So this looks quite wet and windy through the early part of next week with the ECM. Low pressure again sort of diving southeastwards as it isn't able to take its normal track it wants to take, which is southwest to northeast. It's going northwest to southeast because of this high pressure over Scandinavia. That sends the low pressure slipping away southeastwards. By day 10, the next area of low pressure is going to do something quite similar. I think this one probably going to go in that direction. Notice heights are up there to the northeast, not into an easy wind at this point, but all looking rather finely balanced. It is a very wet pattern, though, potentially, that we've got coming up next week with these lows coming up against this Scandinavian high. Talking of wet weather, this is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run. Wet weather sweeping across the country through the rest of today and tonight. That clears away the mild temperatures. Winds go back into the north for tomorrow and into Thursday, with wintry showers running down the eastern side of the country in particular. By the end of the week, next low is coming in off the Atlantic. Again, that's bringing rain to the south. Could be snow with that up in the north. And then more low pressure rattling through as we get into the weekend. Again, rain in the south, snow in the north, especially over high ground. Winds back into the north-northeast for the second half next weekend with wintry showers in places. And then early next week, this suggests a more widespread sort of snow scenario through the early part of next week. It's 6th of December, next Monday. That's bringing more and more snow to perhaps some southern areas. It's a long way off, though, that, so I wouldn't take it overly seriously. It's just an indication that this is not a typical unsettled, unsettled winter pattern. It's not a mild, wet, windy winter pattern like we normally get. This is a colder, unsettled pattern, and it means that particularly for more northern areas, Scottish ski resorts, for example, are going to get quite a lot of snow from all of this. Later on through next week, so wet in the south, very heavy snow being signalled there on the 7th of December in the northern half of the country, and we keep the unsettled and quite cold weather going really up towards day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 10th of December. 16 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure ridging in the Atlantic and going up towards northern blocking with low pressure to our east and south. Winds will be in from quite a cold northeasterly direction with that. That does include the control run as well. We've got 13 members of the ECM ensembles looking flat and westerly, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. Winds in from a westerly direction. 13 again with that mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards blocking type thing up to the north. Low pressure sort of over and slightly to the southeast country. Winds again, perhaps in from the north-northeast. That does include the operational run. And it's very similar to the 16 that we had there as well. And then we have 9 with high pressure ridging from the Atlantic to Scandinavia. Low pressure to the south of that. Winds would be in from the east with that. Most of the options look at the very least quite chilly, I have to say, at around day 10, but also relatively unsettled. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. We'll get us to the 15th of December. 16 members of the Eastern ensembles then have low pressure in off the Atlantic, flat, westerly and quite mild. High pressure is away to the northeast, but more towards sort of Finland and northwestern Russia probably. 10 have low pressure in off the Atlantic. That will be bringing wind and rain in off the Atlantic Ocean. Another 10 though successfully complete the Scandinavian High takeover, and that has like a proper Scandinavian High with winds in from the east. Obviously that would be the coldest option. 9 down here with low pressure being blocked in the Atlantic by this area of high pressure to the northeast. So that's kind of like what much of model output is suggesting, but low pressure coming in, bringing very wet weather off the Atlantic, but being blocked by that wall of high pressure to the northeast. And then 6 down here, looking flat as a pancake, high pressure south, low pressure to the north, and winds in from off the Atlantic, very westerly and zonal with that. So lots of options on the table. We might get a Scandinavian High going by the middle of December, but it's a low possibility at the moment. So possible but not probable. CFS last thing then we've done, it's a 500 millibar heights bring down to week periods. The first week period takes from the 30th of November to 6th of December. Coming week has high pressure out to west, low pressure east, winds in from the north. It will be cold again in the weekend. Week 2 looks quite interesting. This is the 7th to the 13th of December. Trough of low pressure to our south and east, high pressure out to the Atlantic and also towards Scandinavia as well. That is virtually getting the wind into the east, I think. Could be rather cold and wintry. All change to week 3. We go into a much milder snow. This is the 14th to 20th of December. High pressure then sets up over Spain. Low pressures around Greenland, Iceland. Winds in from a very mild west or southwesterly direction. And then week 4 is the 21st to 27th of December with again high pressure to our south and west, low pressure to our north and northwest, and winds again flat and westerly, reverting back to the default, which is the westerlies in week 3 and 4. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that, and drop a comment, let us know anything about this and all of our videos. That's amazing, that's incredible. If you do give us a sub, you're going to be able to see future weather content, including the winter update that we're going to be premiering at 7 PM on Thursday. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, okay, so we don't just, as I say, just around 75 subscribers get to 12.8k. So if you can sub and get friends and family to subscribe, thank you so much for doing that. Right, so just tell you what's coming up tomorrow. We're going to start off with a 7 AM upload. I think got Terry Scoley's December forecast for tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting video, I'm quite sure. Be a 10 to 14 day. I think we'll leave off on the USA forecast just this week. It'll be back like a week tomorrow. But because we've got so much to do tomorrow, I think we'll leave off on the USA forecast. So 7 AM upload, Terry Scoley's December forecast. I think there's a Christmas update pencil stream for tomorrow, 10 to 14 day, and I'm going to try and do a live stream to make up for having to cancel Sony's live stream at the last moment. So it'll be an epic day of content. Please check back to the channel for more. But for this video and today's video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.